Welcome into college football coverage by the fan for the fan. Thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy college football. This is the place for you. Great content coming ahead for week 4. Now, this week we are going to do a little bit different. I normally have my top 10 games, as you know, and I go over those games in depth and give you my score predictions and winner for those games. But this week I figured we'd toss it up and throw everyone's team out there. Not everyone gets to get talked about. So instead of just those 20 teams, we're going to go over every game this weekend, and I'll give you my winner, but I'll also have my top 10 with score predictions for the top 10 games instead of just the outright winner. So it is Thursday. There's games going on right now, but we'll go ahead and skip over those and talk about our Friday slate. Virginia at Syracuse. This is a crazy game because Syracuse is looking to be 4-0, and they're a 10-point favorite over an ACC team, and they are in the ACC, but they just beat a Big Ten team, a good team in Purdue, but playing in that Carrier Dome can just be weird. Yes, I know it's not the Carrier Dome anymore, but I refuse to not call it the Carrier Dome. But I think Sean Tucker gives the Orange a huge run game, and they just destroy Virginia. I think they may win by more than 10. I mean, if you look at the Illinois game versus Virginia, was it like 24-3? Chase Brown ran all over them. Chase Brown is a good running back, but he's not Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker may put up like 3 touchdowns this game. Give me the Orange. Now let's go to Air Force Nevada. Nevada 2-2 at Air Force 2-1. Just coming off their first Mountain West game, Air Forces, they lost at Wyoming. Now, Wyoming's a tricky place to play for Mountain West teams. It's like playing in Kinnick Stadium in the Big Ten. But you lose, you got to bounce back. Air Force, I think they're going to get their feet back under them, and they're going to beat Nevada pretty soundly. Now we got Boise State at Utep. Utep is Utep. Boise State, you have no excuse to lose this football game. If you do, just yikes. Boise State, I got them winning that game. Now we move on to our Saturday games. Missouri at Auburn. This is an interesting game because it's kind of the battle of, hopefully this is both, these teams maybe only shot at an SEC win is what it's currently looking like. They're both not very good football teams, pretty ugly. But give me Missouri. I'll take Missouri, probably like a game-winning field goal or game-winning touchdown. I'll take the Missouri Tigers over the Auburn Tigers. Now we got Kent State at Georgia. Georgia's going to wipe the floor with them. Might be like 60-0. Maryland at Michigan. Interesting game. Tagovailoa looking good for Terrapins. And, I mean, they're 3-0. This will be a true litmus test for them, but I just don't think they have everything or even the depth to really deal with Michigan. But this will give Michigan a good look at actual talent rather than their literal preseason of a schedule they've played so far. So give me Michigan, and I don't think they'll cover. I think it'll be closer than people think. Clemson at Wake Forest. Now, this is one of our top 10 games. This is interesting. I mean, Clemson's won 13 straight, and last year looked like maybe the year, but it was in Clemson. So this is perfect for Wake Forest. Sam Hartman's back. You still have him, and you have them at home. Wake Forest hasn't beaten Clemson since 2008, like I said, 13 straight games. But that was in Winston-Salem when they did beat them. And Clemson is looking stale on offense. Their defense is stout. But if you can put up the points, I think Wake Forest can beat Clemson in a shootout. I got Wake Forest 35-31, and they finally break that losing streak. And this is their breakthrough year to get past Clemson. Now we move on to Central Michigan at Penn State. Penn State coming off a big win. Central Michigan rolling in town. I don't think they're going to strike anyone. I don't think it's going to be a look-over game. Penn State, they should easily breeze over Central Michigan. Baylor at Iowa State, interesting game. Dave Aranda really needs a rebound in a conference game, a big win over Iowa State. But Iowa State is looking like the team they were supposed to be last year. Matt Campbell's got the Cyclones cooking right now. They finally got over the Iowa hump, and now they got Baylor coming to town, and you don't want to play in Ames. Ames is not a fun place to play. And I'm actually going to take the Cyclones. I know they're the favorite, but it honestly still feels like an upset when they win this game because Baylor is number 17 in the country. But this is just, it's not looking like the right Saturday for the Bears. The beginning of the season could get tough. Now we got Rhode Island at Pittsburgh. Pitt, I'm going to take Pitt, obviously. Any FCS, FBS, I'm most likely going to assume that it is going to be the FBS win. Mississippi State, Bowling Green. Mississippi State should bounce back, no problem. Tough loss at LSU last weekend. Just hang 50 on the Falcons and move on to the next week. Don't stress too much. Should be a win for the Bulldogs. Easy. TCU, SMU, the battle for the Iron Skillet. SMU's won 2 in a row, but that was with Sonny Dykes, who is now TCU's coach. TCU is favored by 2, but I honestly think Tanner Mordecai is going to lead SMU to a W, and this is one of our top 10 games. I got SMU winning on a game-winning field goal. I think it's going to come down to the very last play. 31-28. This is always a fun rivalry game to watch if you don't normally watch it. I suggest you watch it. These games get really fun. Next, Duke at Kansas. Yes, this is one of our top 10 games as well. Kansas is rolling. They're looking for their first 4-0 start. I think since 2009, I believe it was. And, I mean, they've won 2 games on the road. They only won 3 on the road in the last, decade, and they've already won 2 this year. West Virginia and Houston. But, I mean, Duke has kind of had a little bit of a cupcake, but at the same time, you got to think any past Duke teams would have lost one of those games. So they're obviously improved with Elko as their head coach. But I'm going to go with Kansas in this one. I got Kansas putting up more points again, winning 45-28. The line is 7 in favor of Kansas, but I think Kansas is a good football team. Not great. I didn't say they were great. I said they were good. This team should win this Saturday, and they would be 2 wins away from bowl eligibility. Huge time right now in Lawrence. I think they sold out their stadium too, which is awesome. Great for you, Jayhawks. Next, South Florida at Louisville. South Florida gave Florida a scare last week, and if it weren't for some special teams whiffs, Lord, man, they could have taken the Gators to overtime, I believe. But Louisville, they're at home. They should be able to take this game. I think it'll be close, but it's not going to be too close. Malik Cunningham should be able to run all over them, and he can actually throw the ball, unlike Anthony Richardson. So I'll take Louisville for sure. Buffalo at Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan's coming off that huge win against Arizona State. I believe it was the first MAC team to beat a Pac-12 team. So they're playing 0-3 Buffalo. But I think this game is Buffalo's first win of the season. I think Eastern Michigan's going to be riding high off that win. They think they're just going to come in, and it's at Eastern Michigan. It's in Ypsilanti, I believe, if I said that correctly. But give me the Bulls to win that game and start their season 1-3. Next, UCLA at Colorado. Colorado is possibly the worst Power 5 football team. It's just bad. Things in Boulder are bad. UCLA is favored by 21.5. UCLA should be able to steamroll them like a 49-14 game. Should be something like that. Chip Kelly, you better not mess that one up, buddy. UMass at Temple. I'm taking Temple. UMass is just UMass. Tell me, Temple's nothing to glare at either, but they should be able to handle them. Florida at Ohio. Ohio should win. Florida at Tennessee. This is one of our top 10 games. Now, it's been rough in the past for Tennessee playing Florida. It's never been easy for them to get a victory. I believe Florida's won 5 in a row against Tennessee. And now you got Hendon Hooker, though. Anthony Richardson, I believe, has still yet to throw a touchdown pass. So, I mean, this is your perfect opportunity to finally beat Florida. It's been 5 years. Prove the Heupel era is going up. Prove you are going up. Get over this Florida hump. Like I talked with Iowa State earlier, they finally got over the Iowa hump. I'm not comparing the two programs. Tennessee and Iowa State are very different. I'm talking the similarities of this opponent. But this is it. I think Tennessee, this game could get ugly. I'm not going to lie. I know Florida, I don't even think Florida should be ranked. They won that Utah game, but Utah is not that team. That was just week 1. Crazy things happen in week 1 because there's no preseason in this sport. But Tennessee could get this game away. I got Tennessee winning 45-21, but it could be worse. If Florida can't get in the end zone, Tennessee will be able to score. Now, Texas at Texas Tech. This is an interesting game. Didn't make my top 10, but it's top 10 quality. The thing is, Texas only favored by 7, and I think they win, but this is a huge trap game. I mean, Texas Tech is not a bad football team. They just lost to North Carolina State last week and another good football team, but Texas Tech has the squad to pull a little surprise on Texas without Ewers, But I got the Longhorns winning that one. Next, Middle Tennessee at Miami. Miami should take care of business, no problem. Notre Dame goes to Chapel Hill. I was going to put this as a top 10 game, but then I remembered Notre Dame is awful. But North Carolina is only favored by 1.5, which really surprises me. But I think the Tar Heels win that game by 10-plus points. Notre Dame's offense is atrocious. And the quarterback situation, it's like they haven't recruited a quarterback since the 1950s. It's bad. Notre Dame is bad. North Carolina, if they lose that game at home, Mac Brown, man, you. Next, Minnesota at Michigan State. This is interesting. Michigan State's coming off their loss at Washington, which is rough. But Washington's a pretty dang good football team. And the thing is, what did Washington do well? They passed the ball well. Minnesota has Tanner Morgan, who I think is better than Michael Penix. Minnesota is only favored by 3. I believe I said that already. But they also have Ibrahim in the backfield. Minnesota hasn't played some of the best opponents yet, but this football team is good. Last year was just a rocky year. Things started off slow, and then the Ibrahim injury, everything just kind of went downhill. And they were 2 wins away from being a 10-win team, I think, but you could do that with any team. But they lost to two opponents they just shouldn't have. Minnesota, I think, can come in and win this game. Could be easy, but I'm going to go Minnesota 27-21. I think it'll be close just because it's in East Lansing, but Minnesota is definitely the better football team in my opinion. Next, we got Indiana at Cincinnati. Not even going to spend that much time on this. Give me Cincinnati. Indiana's not a good football team, even though they're 3-0. James Madison at App State. This is one of our top 10 games. First meeting for these teams, actually, as FBS opponents, both of them. And James Madison is 2-0. How about them? How about them Dukes? Starting off 2-0 in the FBS. Appalachian State, two powerhouses from the FCS, now officially facing off in Sun Belt Conference play. I got App State winning this game 37-28. I think it'll be kind of close, but App State will look like the more dominant team. This is the first true team I think James Madison will be facing off against, but it's a good litmus test for them to see how the rest of the season could pan out. I think they only play 11 games too, but this is a good game for them. This could be interesting to watch. Keep your eye on that one. Toledo at San Diego State. Toledo is actually favored in this ballgame. Wow. I'm going to take San Diego State, though, at home in the new Snapdragon Stadium. I think they rebound last week after their loss to a good Utah team. Give me San Diego State over Toledo. Florida International at Western Kentucky. FIU is just FIU, man. Never pick FIU. Western Kentucky, take them. They're favored by 31. North Texas at Memphis. I'm going to go. It's in the Liberty Bowl, but I'm going to go with the upset here. I actually think the Mean Green are going to get the W over the Tigers. Next, Texas Southern at UTSA. Give me UTSA. Oregon at Washington State. This is one of our top 10 games as well. Bo Nix on the road. Bo Nix went off last week, but the thing is, Bo Nix on the road is usually a different quarterback, but I think this Oregon team, that O-line is amazing, man. This team's kind of surging right now, and I think that win last week kind of proved it. They looked like they were clicking. They're going to get a battle, though, from Washington State. They will get a battle. I got Oregon winning 41-24, maybe with a late touchdown to make it look a little like it was a bigger win, but Washington State's going to give it their all. They're an improved squad this year. They already won at Wisconsin, but give me the Ducks. I think they go on the road and take care of business in kind of a close one. Next, we got Tulsa at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 21.5-point favorite, but I actually think this could be an upset alert one to watch. Ole Miss did take care of Georgia Tech last week, but Georgia Tech's a lot like Colorado. They're kind of a overthought of a Power 5 program, but this could be a trap game. Ole Miss better come out and bring their A game because this is one of those schools that'll come and beat you. But give me the Rebs. They're going to win that one. Georgia Tech at UCF. UCF, don't even spend time on that one. Sacramento State at Colorado State. Colorado State should be able to get their first win. Hopefully for them, they really need it. I think they've lost 9 in a row. Arizona at California. This was a huge game for both these schools in Pac-12 conference play-wise. This could be one of their only few wins if they get any. Arizona's looking improved. They actually beat North Dakota State last week. They proved me wrong. So with that, I'm going to go with Arizona over Cal. Cal gave Notre Dame a fight, but I think Arizona could do this. Go pull one off in Berkeley. Next, we got Akron at Liberty. Liberty should take care of that. No business. Navy at East Carolina. Give me ECU. Navy is awful. Ball State at Georgia Southern. This could be one. I was thinking about putting this on my top 10. Like, top 10 games, I don't always put just the ranked matchups. There's other games, kind of like the JMU App State game, but this could be a game to watch out for and could be a fun game to watch. The over-under 67.5. But give me Georgia Southern. I think they'll take care of business at home, but this is going to be a fun football game to watch. Expect a lot of points. Arkansas State at Old Dominion. Give me Old Dominion. They were one win away from beating both the Virginia schools. Oh, they were so close. That would have been amazing for that school. Next, Rice at Houston. Don't even think about this game for longer than 2 seconds. Houston all day long. Northern Illinois at Kentucky. Northern Illinois, I think, lost to Vanderbilt last week. Kentucky, you should be able to take care of them. Don't slip up. Arkansas at Texas A&M. This is one of our top 10 games. I got Arkansas. I think Arkansas should be the team that's favored in this game. Like, Texas A&M's passing. I know Max Johnson's in now, but this offense, even against Miami, I don't think either of the teams should be ranked. It's just such a stale version of football. I think Arkansas is going to pop them in the mouth. That physicality is serious, the real deal. I think last week was an overlook week for Arkansas. That's not the typical football team you see. I think Arkansas punches them in the mouth, and they win this game 31-21. Next, we got Iowa at Rutgers. Holy cow, this game for Rutgers is huge. If Rutgers starts 4-0, things are going to get wild. This is already a weird season developing with a bunch of these schools that don't normally win very much, getting some interesting 2007 vibes. We just need a few more crazy upsets and we're almost there. But Rutgers at Iowa, I'm taking the Scarlet Knights in this game. I'm going full believer that they can hang with this Iowa team. Iowa just can't score. It's so ugly. Give me Rutgers. Southern Miss at Tulane. Hammer Tulane. They're going to start 4-0. I think they handle this team. Southern Miss they're not very great. They gave I believe it was Liberty week 1 a little scare, but like I said, week 1's there's no preseason in this sport. Week 1's always crazy. Give me Tulane coming off an impressive win at Kansas State last week. I don't think they have a sleeper week. UNLV at Utah State. Give me Utah State. UNLV is favored, but I think Utah State being at home in Logan, that's a better football team. They're a better coach football team as well. Houston Baptist at Texas State. I'm taking Texas State. Marshall at Troy. Another good Sun Belt game. Sun Belt always gives great games. Troy with the heartbreaking loss last week. I think they can actually take down Marshall at home in Veterans Memorial Stadium. Give me Troy. They're going to avenge. That's not avenge because they're not playing the same team, but they're going to get a win, get back from that heartbreaking loss, and send Marshall back down to 0-1 in the Sun Belt. Louisiana Tech at South Alabama. Give me USA. South Alabama should win that game, no problem, over the Bulldogs. Vanderbilt at Alabama. Now, this is one we have to think really long and hard about. Alabama's going to score like 7,000 points. Give me the Crimson Tide. Wisconsin at Ohio State. People want to say upset watch. I don't believe it at all. Wisconsin, I don't think they're the team that everyone thinks they are. Yes, they got Braylon Allen, but what else? Give me the Buckeyes. I just don't see it being close at all. Yukon at North Carolina State easily. New Mexico at LSU could start off 3-1, getting close to that Auburn game that they have to go play. Could get some good early season momentum built here with Brian Kelly. And Miami of Ohio at Northwestern. This is literally a coin flip game for me, to be honest. Northwestern that lost to Duke, man. Yikes. I'm going to go with the upset. Give me Miami of Ohio. Give me the MAC team over a bottom-feeding Big Ten team. Charlotte at South Carolina. South Carolina should bounce back this week. Give me the Gamecocks winning, beating the 49ers. Florida Atlantic at Purdue. Purdue, you got to use this week to build, man. You got to win this game. You can't afford an upset. I think they'll win it, but Purdue's season started a lot different than some people expected. Next, we got one of our top 10 games, Kansas State at Oklahoma. This is always the game where it seems like weird things happen. Somehow Kansas State wins these football games, and Oklahoma is taking care of business against good teams right now. Kansas State, I think they were overlooking last week. Still credit to Tulane. I still can't believe they lost that game. Blows my mind. But I think Kansas State wins this game. I'm still sticking with it. This is one of those games where just strange things have happened. I got Kansas State winning 31-30, and if I'm wrong, it's probably going to be Oklahoma beating them like 55-14. But give me Kansas State 31-30. Hawaii at New Mexico State. New Mexico State, this is like a battle of the worst two teams in FBS. Give me New Mexico State just because they're at home. Boston College at Florida State. Give me the Seminoles. They should win this week and then hopefully be ranked next week. Louisiana at Louisiana Monroe. Raging Cajuns all day. USC at Oregon State, another top 10 game. Now this is a real test for USC. I know they've had the high-flying offense and they've thrown everything around, but they really haven't. They've scored the most points since 2005, I believe, this early into the year. They haven't played anybody. But the thing is, I know they're not deserving of a number 7 ranking, but at the same time, who else are we going to put there? It's so early in the season, you just don't know. And honestly, the AP is irrelevant. The college football playoff rankings are the only thing that matter. But USC, I think this is the real test. Oregon State for them too. They're 3-0. They finally got that win at Fresno State. So this is a big game for both of these teams. This could set the stage for the rest of the season. USC's got a little bit of an easier schedule. A win for Oregon State here would be huge. And it's gonna be a little bit closer than people think, but I'm going USC 49-35 with a late score to extend that lead. Good luck, Beavers. Wyoming at BYU. BYU. W. Utah at Arizona State. Utah's going to take advantage. I think they'll cruise. As we know, Herm Edwards is gone, which probably would not have mattered in this game at all. Give me the Utes. Stanford at Washington. Washington goes to 4-0. Stanford is not a good football team. Lastly, Western Michigan at San Jose State. Give me the Spartans. That could be an interesting game, late game in California. You got a team from Michigan going. Things could get weird, but give me San Jose State. Thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all enjoyed. I gave all the picks this week. Hopefully I was able to hit your team. Pretty sure I went over every game except the Thursday games. But thank y'all for listening. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content. Come on back. Thanks for watching.